Dun, dun, dun.
English is today's language, right? Yeah, it's English. Everybody is cool with English. So good to be here. To the public who knows what is payments, you probably know way more than me. What is EMV abbreviation? PCI. Anybody hear the PCI? So SEPA. Somebody knows SEPA. Okay, somebody knows SEPA. I know more about business management. I'm an educated in business management and international business, and I've been working as a sales, as a shop manager. The last 10 years I've spent like 10 years I spent in IBM, and the last 3 years I'm in a Datacom, and Datacom is quite an old company in Latvia, developing cash registers and POS systems and maintaining computers, selling servers, setting them up, etc., etc. So who here that there is a cash register reform in Latvia, so that the law is changing? One has here. So there was one, two. So there was one reform, and actually each business in retail, what do they need to open a shop? They need something like that. And when I looked at each of the shops, when you come in a bar, even here, you see a system that takes something like 1 square meter, that the screen is setting in front of your client, and you're trying to push buttons there, and then there is some even more wires and more keypads, and there's more printers, and then there is payment devices, multiple. So sometimes that doesn't make the shop really nice. And what's the dream? So I'm the dreamer. I dream of course, of sort of Apple Store, right? I want to interact with the people. I want to sell the goods like by talking to the people, like really giving them space to talk, not with the screen in front of their eyes, and so that it would be convenient. So, so in about April 2018, we started to develop new ideas, what to do. We started to develop in Datacom POS systems. And I thought, why not develop in Latvia with the fiscal regulation? I will talk about it, but something that is really nice. And this is one of my slides from about April 2018, where I went to different banks and different payment service providers. Said, hey, I have a super idea. You probably have payment devices. You probably know Visa, MasterCard, etc., etc. I could develop a POS system on Android. We could work together, make big money, super duper, yeah, cheering at everybody. But first, about the cheering, why is that a challenge at all? So first of all, each country in European Union, almost every country except Estonia because they're digital, has has a fiscal regulation for cash registers. What does this mean? This is the simplest way I could describe fiscal law. There is a POS system where you put the goods, and you have a fiscal device connected to a printer. Lithuania still works that way. Many other countries still work that way. Latvian State Revenue Service got an order from Minister of Finance, get rid of gray economy. So they said, okay, we can do it. Yeah, let's make it 4 times more complex. Let's build a sort of, we'll certify the source code. Let's build a blockchain type of cash register where there are 2 fiscal blocks, and every interaction, what happens to the system has to be registered. We have to see the source code. We have to see the code that is running to the system. So every transaction has to be logged, secured, etc., etc. And we will test it for as long as we want. And yeah, it takes something like half a year for the first cash register to be certified. Not so easy. So quite a challenge already. And for me, it was like looking at the market when I was saying I'm a dreamer, yeah? Do you remember in 2018 any Android device on the market? Somebody? Nobody? Yeah. Well, usually the devices for payment are as simple as possible, the lowest Linux version possible, with the simplest user screen possible. And if it prints something out of it, it's an advantage, because you don't need it, actually. But the printer in POS system is mandatory in Latvia. So everything that is printed on paper is true. Everything rest is not true. Well, it's changing a little bit. So 2018, going to my first clients, I found one vendor, PAX Technology. Anyone hear of it? PAX Technology. So I found on internet in Google a device which is made based on Android, built, certified by Visa and Master. So somebody probably there in the world has Android code which is accepting payments. I started to think who could be on board for my idea. Develop a cash register which is based on Android, which accepts every type of payment, which would be easy for the seller, would create an Apple Store-like experience. I'm starting to think local banks, went to a couple of them, discussed this cheerful, we'll make super business, and they say, yeah, you know, there's the IP address, you read EMV book 12345, certify the code, and you're good to go. Yeah, I think, okay, I don't know anything about payments. I don't know anything what EMV doesn't mean. So they say it's Aerocard, MasterCard, Visa. Okay, doesn't help anymore. I'm going further. I'm looking if any of the vendors or the providers of those devices in the market could do something for me. Maybe they could jump in my boat and give me some help. They look at me, say, well, our business is quite good. Nobody needs to change anything. Why do you want us to change something and to develop something and to spend money on your idea? Not interesting. Okay, so anything of Android, any Android code, any library that could be working with your payment service? No, nothing. Okay, but Baltics doesn't stop in the physical country. So I went out to the Baltics and found a bank. It actually is US bank. They say, yeah, we can accept payments in 50-something countries. You can have currency exchange, etc., etc. You have everything, and here's the Android code. Just get it in your application, and we're good to go. Okay, check. So we have the first deal. November 2018, we signed a contract with. You hear that name? Anybody fly? If you fly a lot with planes, you hear the name that they are providing the catering. So in Air Baltic flights, as Air Baltic is Latvian, they have to have Latvian cash register, which is small, simple, accept all payments. And of course, they're happy that the payments are accepted by watches and by phones, etc. So we struck the first deal. Everybody is happy. Now we are cheerfully opening the champagne, and no coding still started. So we started to draft the first ideas. We started to draft the interface. We started to understand what the client wants, where is he flying, how the device should be updated, how we could interconnect with the payments, how will the payments happen in air where there is no internet. And legislation says you have to have strong customer authentication, etc., etc. You know probably more than me. What hell of a problem is that? I didn't know about it anything. So I signed the contract. Actually, I promised that I will deliver it in 6 months. My bad math. First big fail. We coded it full January, February. End of February, I'm giving it to the client. I'm saying to the conference organizers in retail polls, I said, yeah, end of March is cool, the device will be ready, the customer will accept it, we'll register it, somewhere in April, May, we'll be registered for full-blown system, etc., etc. No, because if you remember my idea of a calculator, setting and printing receipt and taking payment, the client didn't think so. We gave it to them in March. They said, well, no, you didn't get the list of our functions, yeah? You know, we have something like bit documentation to do, and there is 50 countries we're flying, and did you know that we are exporting something also, that there's no VAT, and you have to exclude it in some countries and in some not. And there are situations where you have to include the tax and you have to change the prices and in some not. And we want to calculate all the products there and we want to have analytics out of it. Okay, I think where were you in December when we agreed to the contract? Like we discussed the features, why, but agile, okay, let's be agile, adopting. Let's have the next round. So coding again, March, April, May, coding like hell. And we come to the point, synchronization, yeah, the last thing, everything, features ready, everything's cool, synchronization, it should just copy files, right? No. It should verify everything. So because people make mistakes, you verify everything, all the products, prices, combos, discounts, everything we are giving to the device, everything has to be verified. So there are controls, like 35 control procedures happening on the point when I ingest information in the device, because the client said so. And he didn't include it in contract, but okay, he needs it, yep, coding. So something in end of August, September, I finished the first version. I gave it to certification authority, and the certification authority says, yeah, generally it's okay, but you know, the law says you shall not pass in first day. Did you know that Android has Bluetooth, of course, the device has Bluetooth, and via Bluetooth you can force a file to the device. And by changing a background, you can get to the file, you can do whatever with the file, you can even write code in the file, and writing code in the file is bad. Shit. 2 days later, we develop a launcher application that blocks everything, only the things we allow, only under passwords, etc., etc. And the final version is ready. So today, it looks like it's running, it should be running like this. So it's there. There's full POS system inside, full payments, Apple Pay, Google Wallets, Apple Wallets, watches working. Everything is, analytics is coming out, everything is updated. Synchronization has 35 validation controls. There's a scanner for PINs card, there's a scanner for customer card, there's a, whatever possible POS system needs. Totally proud of it during 1 year, even with the problems. And even more, actually, I'm currently developing, and I hope to release it in something like April. There is a full store management system behind it, because there is a hell a lot of functions. You can have client loyalty. We are building those loyalty system like, you know, Rimi has this loyalty points calculating. We were talking with Latvian bank about why not to include SEPA payments? We should work something out. It's simple, easy, and clients don't like to pay Visa, MasterCard fees, you know. But that will come. But we'll have a portal, we'll have analytics, and as you remember, I told that I'm a bit from the retail side, so I'm looking on the analytics as a big key breakthrough in the retail organizations, analyzing the clients, analyzing baskets, so what did they purchase, analyzing the sales, comparing it to others, etc., etc. So this is like in this year we'll announce that one, and what is next, we'll develop new form factors. I have already clients asking for 8-inch tablets with printer, everything included. So we'll see, I hope, I'll have 8-inch tablets also. SEPA Instant Credit or Zimaksājumi in Latvia, I think it's quite a cool idea. Like the Asia, China has this WeChat Pay. So the payment is simple, it's cheap for the customer, the merchant is totally in for payment in SEPA because it doesn't cost anything. And in the far future, I want this to be a small phone attached to your cart when you're shopping. You can scan your items and go through the shop. But that's included here, so if that is ready, then the rest is simple, I think. So how to develop a project in 1 year? You have a good team. You have a crazy bad math person like me, a dreamer, and you have a good commitment and good karma. And then you can do hell a lot of things. And welcome questions. Yay!
That sounded like a crazy ride.
That's good.
It looks like, is it a phone stuck into the thingy or is it?
Yeah, it's technically an Android specific device. They use Android, but it's secured. There is something like 4 or 5 temper sensors for chemicals inside, for voltage, for opening the shelf. So it's PCI secure, pin on screen, NFC cards, magnetic cards, scanner who scans whatever is there, chip cards, a battery that lasts at least 10 hours inside, SIM card inside from LMT, bit of advertisement. Yeah.
And it has everything.
It has everything a merchant needs.
And it plays movies.
And we tested it, even that is one more thing. If a merchant has 60,000 goods in their store, so 60,000 articles, we loaded it here and it worked fine, fast, cool.
Whoa, okay. That's pretty cool. We have a question very, very far away.
Yeah. I don't have it now, but there's a camera. And this is certified also for pay with voice. So actually, as soon as they will release the code or there is supported, I can say, okay, I accept the payment and it pays. So it's even certified by Visa and Master for those.
Okay, we have a few questions, and one of those are you providing also acquiring, or each merchant can choose their own provider?
As I told, there is just one entity who can do it to accept the payment. So I'm happily guide through all the cycle. I fill in the blanks, I fill in the forms for the client, and there is one merchant, one payment provider who is paying you back the money next working day. But no local banks there currently. No.
Okay. Can order requests be sent to POS remotely?
Yes, I have an option there. I have one client who is now working and including this in their logistics chain. So you can synchronize e-commerce orders from your e-commerce and send it to this device. So the driver with the truck is scanning the truck's card and gets immediately the order, gets the payment, drives away. So you can.
Okay, and what is acquiring bank behind solution? Are you open for any bank?
I'm open. I was talking 2 years ago with a lot of banks. I asked them in the board. So in the behind there is US Bank. Currently there is US Bank behind it. But let's discuss if there is some ideas.
Okay, and one more. I just refreshed it one more time. If there's a super hot question here, because there's a lot of questions with no support. Sorry for you guys. Yep. Nope. There's
No
a lot of
questions.
questions. No, there's a lot of questions, but we've run out of time. And
Okay, so I'll be around. Oops,
yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll be around. Come
So,
meet me. Catch
yeah,
me.
yeah. Meet, catch, and you're also on the internet, as we understand.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, round of applause to Edijs.